Hello, everybody. I get so involved with the live chat that I don't even notice like it's time. I remember when I started winning hand pays back in the middle of November 2013. Seven jackpots on that first day and 54 W2G hand pays by the end of the year, 6 weeks later. I've since met with slots players who have also done that. When that started happening to me, I enjoyed it. I more than enjoyed it. I was like, "It's wonderful." Some days I wonder it was terribly emotional. On some days, I'd win a huge profit, and other days, I'd take it back in and lose it all. So up, down, up, down. I was being a luck-based gambler. But a couple of weeks into that happening to me, I started thinking, what if I had a plan? What if on those days I lost, I figured out why I lost? And what if I figured out, why I won on those other days? What if I could figure out what was different between those days? What if I could come up with a plan? And I did. It was a very simple plan, and I'll explain that shortly. But last year, I had a consultation with a client. A He was a high roller. I want to be very careful. No names, no locations, all of that. He knows who he is. Not to say he's in the live chat. Last year, I had a consultation with this client, this high roller. He started playing slots for the first time ever in mid-January, and by the time I talked to him in October, he'd spent tens of millions of dollars. He told me exactly how many tens of millions of dollars, but I'll just leave it at tens of millions of dollars. But he'd won almost as much, except for a difference of $1 million. He didn't seem to mind accepting that loss. We were talking about other things. So after answering his questions about gambling record keeping methods, specific to what he needed, what kind of records he had, which is not the records that you have. It's just, the casino he was at, he didn't use money. They gave him a voucher because you can just imagine what it was like to put 1,000 $100 bills into a machine. I mean, would that fill a machine? A 10,000, $100,000 voucher was what the casino gave him, and he used that. So it's just different situation, but he didn't mind losing that $1 million, and for whatever reason that would be. And after answering his questions, we talked about our slot experiences, mine and his. He said that early on he considered switching over to analyzing how he was winning and losing, and decided not to. The casino he was going to treated him like a rock star, his word, including often having dinner with the general manager as that casino's top gambler. And he was having a great deal of fun at a time in his life when he needed that kind of excitement and attention. Yes, he knew all about my strategies and was a big believer in them. I was also a topic of conversation during those dinners with the casino general manager. Setting my worry aside and what that might mean, um, and if the general manager is now a fan, uh, or not, whatever. While he was using my strategies, he wasn't following them strictly so much as noticing they worked. In the words and concepts that I talk about, his gambling goal was entertainment. I think you'll agree that he was quite good at reaching his gambling goal. He told me that he had considered figuring it out, what worked, what didn't work, but was fine with not doing that. I told him I'd considered the same thing, but I had decided to figure it out. What do you do? Are you a luck-based slots player, or do you have a plan, or starting to? Luck-based or planned? Please comment in the live chat if you're here now, or later in the video comments if you're watching the recording. Luck or plan? If you stay for the whole hour in this live stream, you're a planner. If you're new to my content and watching this live stream for the first time, and will probably stop if I don't say something interesting pretty darn soon, it's already like 2 minutes into it, then you're likely a luck-based player. The world is full of slots enthusiasts that make luck-based decisions, and on average, they lose money. We know this because state-by-state return statistics show this to be so. In other words, we have state data saying the average player return is between 90% and 93%, depending on the state, where the average casino has $1.8 billion, that's billion with a B, in a month in revenue, while giving back all but 10% of it in some states, sometimes it's 7%, as winnings. So the casino's monthly payout is not giving back 7%, giving back 93% instead of 90%. And the casino keeping 10%, and in some states like Nevada, 7%. In any case, just get the numbers straight. But 10% of it, is taken by the casino. And so the casino's monthly profit, 10% of $1.8 billion per month, is $180 million before utilities, employee compensation, and other business expenses. Before I started planning at the end of 2013, I was breaking even playing slots. Once I started planning, only doing the simplest things to plan in the most obvious ways, which you can do, I started making a profit. How much of a profit? Well, scammers, our lovely scammers who may drop by the way. Thank you, Paula, again for being a moderator. It's much appreciated. Scammers would tell you that you can, they'll tell you anything that will excite you. The higher the return, the better. So you lose all reason and jump on the chance to give them hundreds of thousands of dollars for their plan to win millions upon millions. Yeah. And, you get those emails from Nicaragua, right? From the prince, wants to help you out. Whatever. I made a profit of 30%. Big whoop. Except if you think about it, it's like better than anything you'll ever do with a stock and bonds. So for that first year, that 6 weeks, I made back my bankroll plus 30%. I had the same return for the next year. Together, I won 90 W2G jackpots in 9 months, and then a car. And it was all part of a plan. I stopped being luck-based winning at the very beginning, or purely luck-based winning at the beginning. That whole time, I was writing down my plans. So once I started going to different casinos, I started seeing how, the casino setup mattered. Not to get into it, but if it was luck-based in the same state, then it wouldn't have mattered that I went to a different casino, but it did. And so I included that in my notes and started, organizing things. After I won the car, I started organizing my notes, clarifying my ideas while turning it into my book, Learning to Win, which you can read all about. In it, you can read all about what I say, planned, and did. It's my proof of how I won at slots. It's not day by day, but it's pretty close. So Learning to Win is available on Amazon, but you can get it as a free bonus with my online course. My online course for improving your slots play is 30 days to play slots better and win, slots smarter and win. With it, you've gotten lifetime access, a free copy of my book, Learning to Win, and spreadsheet templates for slot record keeping, now updated for 2022 for income tax purposes and gameplay analysis. You also get a 1-month free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. 30 days to play Slots Smarter and win is discounted at 50% for a $100 savings. That won't last forever. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about this well-received course, including a full description of its contents, as well as testimonials. This link is also in this video's description. And we have donations from satisfied customers. I think the first one is Magpie 11. Let me show you. Okay. Magpie 11, I think it's a birthday. And because she says she got kidnapped for a birthday breakfast. And I don't think you kidnap birthday guests. I think you would capture the birthday person. So Magpie 11 will be watching the replay. I said in the live chat, which she won't be able to see, to have a good one. And if it's her birthday, happy birthday. So happy birthday, Magpie 11. Much appreciated. The donation is much appreciated. Thank you so much. And we also have Chuck. I have a new video game that I'm playing where the loudest music is really loud, so I turned it down. Sorry. Chuck Fest is continuing. Chuck has given it a donation of $20 as well, and he says, "Good morning, all." I don't even know what Chuck Fest means. Maybe he'll enlighten us in the live chat. So I want to go through a few questions here and check in the live chat. If you are watching this recording of the live chat, I'll share some of the messages so you see them on the screen. But you can see all of them if you're here live. But if you're not here live, I have that turned off so that this is a community experience. A lot of people who have taken the course and had some successes, or they talk to each other. So I have to sort of sort through as I go through this. And it looks like people are having birthdays. Oh, sorry. We're talking about the weather, and it's in the 60s and 70s in certain places, and I was like, "What is it? Another birthday?" Yes, where people are asking me about my dog. Yes, my Isaac, who is 9 months old, a week ago yesterday, still has a puppy, but he's now 65 pounds. Is started this big, and he is really did enjoy the snow quite a lot. And then when the snow, we had a lot of it recently, and when it all kind of melted, but then there was so much of it that it froze, and then he found out he really loves chewing on ice. But now he's today we're having it used to be 20s and low 30s, and now today it's getting to 75, but I'll believe it when I see it. We have a joke in Michigan. Maybe you have that joke in your state. I remember summer in Michigan last year. It was on a Tuesday. Sorry, dad jokes or something. Hello, Charles. Nice to see you. Hello, Jan, Texas Tootsie. She has a plan. Steve is here from Green Bay, Wisconsin, says hello. And Bella Bella says happy Saturday. Yep. And let's see. and talking amongst yourselves. Dawn says, have been a luck-based player, but am a planner by nature, so I really want to plan. Absolutely. Oh, that's a lovely photo. And on your profile, that's great. So I can understand that. I think the first people that I get are people who like to plan. I can't help but be organized. I can't help but be a planner myself. That's who I am, and people seem to sync up with that. There's, I think, some slots channels that do a lot of yelling. I'm just like, what? I don't understand. So hopefully I'll be able to reach out to some of these at some point. Right. Let's see here. Mary says, I'm a luck-based player, but working on strategies as I watch those who do approach with a strategy. Yep. And Angela says, "Ooh, I think I'm both. Is that possible?" Absolutely. In fact, it's the purely luck-based players, um, because you can't eliminate luck, or at least I don't want to eliminate luck. I mean, I want to teach everybody how to play slots and win. Okay. But I don't want to make it boring. I won at one casino and I'm just like, this is boring. Yeah, sure, my pockets are bulging with $100. And I remember going to my uh, sales guy for a car salesman that I was talking to, and a friend in a new part of the country where I hadn't been before. And I'm like, well, there's this wad of hundreds and this wad of hundreds and this what. And by that point, he was just like, shh, 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 shh. So this is all during that 6 weeks that I was telling you about. He was just like, stop doing that. And then there was the death threats from work, but they said later that they were joking. Oh no, they never did say that. They never did say they were joking. Anyway, right. XLLX Frenzy. Hello, Professor Slotz. Went to the casino just to observe. Only saw 4 hand pays. That was last night, Friday. Super busy. 4 hand pays is more than I've seen at times. So it's not the worst time, but note that and come back. If you see 14 hand pays some other night, then you know what good is. As I tell, as I talk about in a couple of videos, a couple of strategies, I'll mention them at the end of the live stream, exactly how to go to them and show them right here. You need to go to the casino twice and look around so you can tell the difference. So yes, first time you saw 4 hand pays, you go another time and you see none. You can go another time and you see 20. This begins to tell you what's going on. Marcia says, following your plan, I won 3 jackpots in the last 6 weeks. Wonderful. Well, this is what I want for everybody. And I see some happy birthday notices, but I'm like, it didn't translate to the way I watched this video, this live stream here. So I have to sort of keep YouTube side by side. Steve says, I always plan, and that means observing the casino floor and how the casino is playing. Again, if it doesn't take much to start planning. You can do a lot of different things. In my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, people who take the course, they get a free month's worth membership. And we talk there about taking these strategies and starting to combine them. The course is about each individual strategy. And then on one of them, it's like talk about a certain combination. And that's what I share as well, freely if you can find it and organize it on all the different videos I have on YouTube. But I walk through the course with you on this. And so structured, homework, do this. It's the plan. I don't sell the plan on YouTube with free content. I just talk about this and that and the other thing, and it isn't necessarily a plan. The course is a plan. So, but what was I? Yes. So you can observe, people talk about luck-based and entirely luck-based. There is no other thing besides luck-based. Then it wouldn't matter if you observe the casino floor and see how the casino is playing when the odds are better. Except if it was entirely luck-based, it wouldn't be better. Anyway, I won't get into too much of that, I hope. The people that I get for my audience they find me in large part because they see stuff and they're just like, What? That's not luck based. What the heck? Maybe somebody knows about it and they find me. So, Michael, as I get older, I notice that I will get off a machine quicker, not willing to lose big dollars only on one machine. Sometimes I play 10 spins and jump to another. That's something I talk about, is, there's my, in a couple of different ways. There's my 5 spin method, which is up to 5 spins unless you win. And I talk about that some other time. And that's my most popular video. And if there's any reason why you know me, it might be because of that. But there's also play a slot machine to evaluate it by playing 10 bets. And if you don't win anything, walk away. I haven't really named this. Maybe tough love would be a way to name this strategy. If it didn't happen in the first 10 bets, tough love, walk away. If it did, then that's enough to get you to 20 bets. So now you're at 20 bets. And if you didn't win anything worthwhile between, after 10 bets, before 20 bets, if whatever happened before 10 bets that got you to stay happens again, and there are people I know, Chuck, who there's several Chucks, but one of the Chucks, the one who was on my podcast, talks about how, well, if it was 2 bonus rounds in the first 20 bets, no, I'm not going to stay. But if there was 3, I would stay. And so he's like tough love all the way through. And so and then you do that after having enough reasons to stay past 10 and enough reasons to stay past 20, each one of those being an evaluation point, go to 50. And if it doesn't satisfy you, if you don't think of that machine as a winning machine at 50, stop. But if it is, not because of the wins at 10 or the wins at 20, but because between 20 and 50, it was paying out, then you go to 100. And then at that point, stop counting. At that point, if you're still winning between 50 and 100, just go and play it till, for as long as it lasts, but just keep it aware. If you suddenly realize you've been losing for a while, then stop. And that's a relatively easy way, quick way to just have a plan. You pick a slot machine anywhere, really simple. Pick a slot machine anywhere in the casino, by luck, and do that. And it's not terribly efficient. It's not, terribly, what I did was I went on days I had looked at my records and I saw that I was winning. And I'll talk more about this. And then I didn't go on days or times when I wasn't winning based on my records for the prior week. And out of that, by the end of 2013, I had 6 weeks to look back on, and I was making decisions on that and some holidays and some other things. So it started getting a little complicated pretty fast. If I went on Christmas Eve, then that was New Year's Eve. So it was the same. But anyway, any one of these topics can be the entire length of 1 hour. So when I started looking back, and a simple plan was go when I was winning and not go when I wasn't winning, and that alone was huge. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's right. That's right. Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, for reminding us. Chuck was on my podcast. I interviewed him. Apologies for not being a great interviewer. I've done it outside of job interviews. That's about it. So I've only had a few, all of them recently on the podcast, so I'll get better. But Chuck Fest is an extended birthday celebration. He says he likes to milk it for all he's worth. Well, Chuck, happy birthday extended. Doesn't that sound like I can read his text and I can almost hear the sound of his voice in my ear from the podcast. Um, everybody is having a birthday. And Angela, welcome, happy birthday to your brother. And yeah, okay. I'm trying to scroll past Chuck Fest here. Hi, Kevin. Kevin is from New York City. More Chuck Fest, more Chuck Fest. And Dawn says, I have a trip planned for Cherokee this week, and I just found you. Welcome. And hopefully you're still around. Normally I have data and it shows people stay for like 15 minutes. And my usual fans who know me for a while stay the whole hour. PNTD Black. Notice the high limit rooms will be paying hand pays while the rest of the casino is dead in California Indian casinos. Be careful. Sometimes the win is under the hand pay amount out in the main casino floor. Often it is possible, but often in the high limit room, you don't get anything but a W2G. On a $100 machine, you get a cherry. Well, maybe one cherry won't give you over $1,200, but two will. And so be careful. I'm sure you're fine, but listen for or watch for the wins. When I was playing slot machines and I won something, you can tap the next bet to cancel the roll up. It doesn't bet, it cancels the roll up sound, which could go on forever depending on how much the win was. And some people like that, some people don't. But the people who are trying to hide the fact from others that they're doing really well is they just shut it down and on to the next bet. And I did that. And so, but you can see it land on what is obviously a hit. And so just make sure it's not that. Okay. Good question. Michael, hello from Oklahoma. Hi, Michael. Helly from Southern California. How you doing? Angela says, does everyone use players cards? Does it help? We talk about that sometimes. I'll tell you my answer, which is I always use it, and I did just fine. Let's see. Dancing drums. Yeah. So, we've got. Thank you, Paula, for doing your thing. And Jan says it's hard to see hand pays at my casino. They're very quiet about paying the winners. That makes no sense to me. Yeah, we can. This is sort of an advanced topic. Would the casino want you to win? Why would they want you to win? Would they want to make the most of it? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me either. But we can talk about it during the group membership if you want to next time. Right. So I'm getting more questions. Good. Chuck says there can only be one true Chuck. And okay, if somebody else has the name Chuck, I will call him Chuckles, or unless you want that. Yeah. Michael says watch most of my videos. Yeah, sure. As I add more videos, and I'm doing that 5 a week now, in a year, there'll be a lot of videos to watch, and that the course is meant to be convenient to for you, so you don't have to come up with a plan, but I will and give it to you. That's what you're paying for. You can still watch all the videos, listen to all the podcasts if you got the time, and it's going to take more time. And Michael says I'm using the 5 spin on 20 slots next trip. Yeah, test it out, see if they have it. If they don't have it, move on. Sometimes they pay less than you spend, and then you have to sort of that's where combining my strategies with that can be helpful. But again, and someone just told me that there was a kitty appearance behind me. She's actually a grown cat. She was a stray, and she just kind of didn't grow uh, due to having kittens and all that. But she's a rescue cat. If all else fails, take what you can afford to lose and stay away from the casinos. And that's that ATM sign. Awesome. Emoticon. Sure. Yeah. There's, as I've said before to my college students, and I've used it here, I don't care what your plan is. I care that you have a plan. And so go for it. You know, I I think 2004 was when I won my first hand pay, and I was living in Iowa, and then I went off to start my engineering degree career in Connecticut. But in Iowa in 2003, so 2013 wasn't my first time. 2004 April, I started winning hand pays, and that's what taught me a lot about what the casinos can do, because it was just me on one machine that was highly visible from all the others. And unless you've been in that situation, for 7 days, and I've talked about this elsewhere, for 7 days, I won 13 hand pays on a machine that was a $1 denomination machine, which you don't win hand pays on very often. You can, but not 13 of them. And then the non-hand pays of $1,000, I think I won like 60 of those. And then I was doing hash marks on my hand, and I covered my hand, and I was just like, I'm not keeping track of hundreds or $500 or $750. It's just 1,000. And I was just like, I give up. And then, that told me what was possible to start looking into this. And if that wasn't enough, on the 7th day, it all stopped. So when I won, I was like very suspicious. And then when I didn't win, suddenly after all those losses, all those wins, and I was just like, thank you for the confirmation that something is going on. When I remember that first day I won 3 hand pays, and I went home with $10,000, and I knew nothing. I was just going to play that machine, and I'd walk out and I blew $3,000 in the high limit room, didn't win a thing. And another time I bought $3,000 worth of lottery tickets, Powerball, at the convenience store across the street. Stupid. Okay. I'll apply to myself that I don't care what the plan is, as long as you have a plan. But man, I don't even know why I mentioned it. I'll never live that down. But winning all that money, I found on the first day I had $10,000 in the savings, and I ended up with $10,000 at the end of the 6 days. So maybe if I stopped that first day, but then I learned a lot, and turning it into a business and all that years later, when I found something else to add to it years later. Anyway, oh yes, thank you. I always forget to say this. Please like this video. Please share this video, and so I help me grow and spread the word. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. I'll try somebody else. Bosto. I won 16 hand pays in suite at local casinos in Wisconsin. 6 of them were in one night. Yep. What the 7 that I won, I was having a shouting match, a friendly shouting match with Bubba and his friend Dustin over on the other side of the high limit room. And I'd say 3 and he'd say 4, and I'd say 4 and he'd say 5. And that night he got to, I think, was it 9 or 10, but I only got to 7. only. Again, I was so much fun. And Charles asks, "How do you win a car on The Price is Right?" How do I win a car on The Price is Right? Funny you should mention that. When I won a car, they called my name. Complicated. Tell you the full story if you want it later. Um, but once I got up there was actually calling people every half an hour, and they were calling two people every half an hour, and then they would have them spin a wheel. 6 foot tall. Spin a wheel. So you may have been joking, but I turn a wheel professionally. No, I don't work at a carnival, hawking, for the crowd or something. My engineering job is to do inspections with an underwater, something I can reach, turntable, which is motorized, and it's important to control the speed. It's not like a lathe or anything like that. It's for inspections, and everything has to be done underwater, but not by much, but 4 feet or whatever. And so sometimes we have to go slow, sometimes we have to go fast, sometimes we have to accelerate slow, sometimes we have to accelerate fast. And, uh, you know, this is, I was world class at this, by the way. Anyway, when they asked me to turn a wheel, I was like, don't even think about it, just turn the wheel, because I know how to turn wheels. So if you want to win a car on The Price is Right, first they have to have a car. That is not your decision. And then you have to turn the wheel, which is a skill. Get good at it. Okay. Um, I would offer to hire you to learn how to do all this. Is Bosco, it's great that you do. The biggest was 11K. Excellent. Um, and wow, you ask a very good question, Johnny B. Good. What's the difference between different class slot machines? Well, uh, Class 1 machines are tribal ceremonies, tribal games, which no one ever talks about. Class 2 machines are basically anything having to do with bingo, but it doesn't have to be bingo. It has to be a competitive game. It's a state decision on which games fall under which of these. For instance, the Nebraska, until they made some changes, said that gambling is completely illegal, but playing poker isn't gambling. So, but my point here is they make very confusing decisions. In Indiana, they also say poker is a class 2 game. It is competition style based on poker, not based on bingo. So most people, technically it's a competition style game where you're all playing together. It looks just like a machine that you would normally play, except maybe there's a little bingo card on the side that would indicate what's going on with the rules of the game. And there's the random number generator in a competition style bingo game is a little bit different. And for most people, they would say there isn't one. But for many states, this isn't based on a bingo game that was live, because they have far more machines, and there might not be enough bingo games in the universe to need and have enough of those records. And so they have a way to simulate a ball dropping out of a bunch of balls to be like a bingo game. And that's a random number generator, but it's not quite what we talk about, what most people think about. Sometimes I edge into complications just because I don't notice that we cross the line. Sorry. Now that's class 2. What is class 3? The wording in the federal law is as follows: anything that's not class 1 or class 2. That's it. So not competition style machines. And yeah, so it's pretty, just this, everything else. That's what class 3 is. Now, in terms of winning, uh, mostly I talk about class 3 machines, and uh, that's because that's something the casino usually has control over, and it's operated in a way that they can do what they want, uh, and um, and so, but that's not necessarily the case for class 2 machines, and I'm trying to help people because that's all they have available, and there's a lottery based games that's not controlled by the casino. It's controlled by the state lottery in some states like Washington's. And so I'm most of what I do talks about class 3 games uh, to help people, but I'm also focusing on different states where they have specific problems, specific rules that make things a little bit different. And so I talk about that on occasion. It's funny. When I talked about Washington slots, I had the most comments I'd ever gotten on a live stream, but it only applies to people in the state of Washington. So the more specific I get, the better, sort of. Anyway, I think there might be more to what you were asking, but that's what's going on. Sue, how do you tell how volatile a machine is? This is a concept pulled from table games. It's an excellent topic, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Hopefully, we'll get back to it. And what's a lot of people are using the word volatile, volatile, not like is meant with table games. In table games, it's a mathematical equation about the game rules, which tells you whether or not something has a lot of little wins and a lot of big wins and a lot of ups and downs or not. And that's a mathematical equation. In slot machines, people say, well, do you win a lot often? Do you win small often? Or do you win big rarely? And that's what they mean by that. You can't know except to play. Oh, all right. Lots of questions, and I will see where I can get back to what we're talking about and make sure I see some of that. Okay. Uh, okay. I'll answer one more question, which is about online slots. Online slots, Bosto, there's a money management process. I've called it banking the bonus. It's a video that I have. That's my strategy for online slots. The other online slots strategy is to online slots are becoming popular. Not so much. Your reasoning is wrong. I'm sorry. I've been following people in the pandemic. People like going to casinos to play slots. It's not the same thing as being online. It's two different things. So nobody switched. That's one thing. Second thing is the online games do what physical brick and mortar casinos do. If you go to professorslots.com/abc27, just like it sounds, professorslots.com/abc27, you'll see my interview with ABC27 News at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, talking about the local Penn National casino racetrack and how they're all isolated in that portion of Pennsylvania, and they haven't won. They have had terrible odds since the first year, and that's not the case further north in Pennsylvania. Anyway, what happens is when you enter a new gaming jurisdiction and there isn't one before, either you're a brick and mortar casino or you're online gaming, you're trying to get people hooked. Somebody else asked a question about getting hooked. They're trying to get you hooked. So you win. They've explained to their investors that the first year or first month, you will win. And it won't be till later that the investors get their money back. So if you're seeing online gaming new to your state, and a lot of people are, take advantage of it. But you're going to have to remember to quit, because they're going to turn those odds off forever, as you'll see in the article that I was telling you about in ABC 27, they'll turn it off and they'll just keep the people who can't quit because they think they're lucky or something, when in fact they were allowed to win to hook them like that. So there you go. Okay, where were we? Back to it. So how do you play luck-based slots? One way is to find slot machines that look appealing to you. That's it. You went to Las Vegas and won something on a Lightning Link machine, or one casino you won on a Lightning Link machine, and you went to another one, and now you'll forever play that machine. Not that machine, that game, right? Or was it some other game, Dancing Drums maybe? Because you're assuming it's all luck. So it doesn't matter which machine you play if it's a game theme you enjoy. So you're randomly selecting which machine you're going to play based on, because game theme doesn't matter. So maybe you're just comfortable with it. So I can appreciate this approach. I used to be a huge fan of Wheel of Fortune for the same reason. I won most of my 54 hand pays in 6 weeks on a couple of Wheel of Fortune machines. But then I started a simple plan. Some days of the week and some times of the day, I won on them. And other days and times, I did not. But how did I know which was which? Because I kept gambling records. W2Gs come with a date, day of calendar date. In my state, it also came with a timestamp and the machine ID. So I knew which Wheel of Fortune it was from and what time of the day it occurred on. Have you ever gotten a W2G? Does it, and if it's recent, this complications here, as I'll talk about elsewhere, that good time doesn't last through a time change, doesn't last, for like a month and a half later, kind of like fades away because it drifts. But if you times change. So if you just want a hand pay, look at it to see what the timestamp says. Does that show the day, time, and specific machine in a row or carousel of similar machines? Don't know? Check. If you just won it, go back a week later, and a week after that, and a week after that. 5 minutes earlier, play through that same time period. Not all casinos have this, as with all my strategies. It's not about luck. It's about, does the casino do this? Check to see if your casino does that. So after I won the car in August 2014, I took a year to write my book. I had never written one before, so I had to figure out how. Negotiating contracts, recording podcasts, having a web page and programming the web page and doing all that stuff. Like, everybody finds that hard, but I have plenty of friends from college that were like English lit majors. So they knew how to write, but everything else was like questionable. So now for me, everything else was like, what? It's hard. and I looked at writing as like, oh my, I have to learn how to write. So I looked at self-publishing. It was just becoming popular then. And after a lot of false starts, trying to get a literary agent and a book publisher, I ended up self-publishing it. And not to bore you, I had to learn how to write. That was, as you can see, sometimes there's still, I'm so much better. I'm reviewing some of my older articles because you want to polish them and make sure that they're up to date and all that. And I'm looking at them going, who wrote this? Too many commas. Anyway, after reviewing and organizing my ideas for the book, I went back to my local casinos with better planning. When I did, my 30% overall bankroll, 30% over bankroll jumped to 50% over bankroll. So if your bankroll is $100, a 50% profit would be leaving with $150. 50% loss would be leaving with $50. So, if your $300 bankroll, 50% profit is $450. Yes, sorry. That's so disappointing after what scammers promise. Of course, a 50% profit is better than any stocks or bonds you might invest in, right? I think those are like 12% maybe if you do well. So let's walk through choosing candidate slot machines as part of a plan. This live stream isn't just about what happened, but how to do it. Once a specific casino has been determined to currently be the best of any available, sometimes something else which helps is, but not under discussion now, is to have the best casinos. When you figure out which casino is best, and I know if you're in Hard Rock Tampa, that's all you get, or Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Penn National, all you get. Where in Philadelphia, there's a bunch of them, so there's competition. So, after choosing a casino is choosing slot machines. Statistics supplied by state gaming commissions. There's now 20 of them. I was 19, but I found another one that's actually starting to do it. And if you've got it, if you live in Connecticut, that's all changed. If you have a question about how to find the statistics, it's buried now. They got outside vendor doing it and all, but it's terrible. But I did figure it out. So if you want to contact me, just send me an email at john@professorslots.com. I will give you the link. Anyway, statistics supplied by state gaming commissions show that the odds of winning are on average sometimes around 90%. So let's talk about how to do better than that by having a plan when picking slot machines to play. So one of the things, I'm going to get back to the questions, is a little is a lot. See, there's two groups of you here. Those that have followed me for a year or more, who have taken the class, done all that. And as I mentioned last week, I'm trying to reach out to people who are like here for the first time. And so please have a plan. That's it. if you want, I hand out plans willy-nilly. The course, depending on which gambling goal that you have, which plan works for you, and then you have to decide whether or not your casino has this, because it's not about luck, it's about what your casino does. So you check in order to develop your plan. So and the people who are part of my audience who've been with me for a while know that. But if you're new, have a plan. Checking with all the different, I see a lot of thumbs up. What the heck? Hex says, I don't believe our random number generator is random at all. Where I live, I know exactly at what time it's going to hit if people lost money on it. That's an example. People are finding me because they're seeing stuff and they're going, that doesn't make sense from what I'm told from that video from 2009, before Central Servers ever came out, by a guy that's retired now. Out and recently reposted. So yeah. Let's see, questions for the audience. That's good. Does winning a hand pay pretty quick mean the machine is usually a winner, or is it just luck? Placed $100 bets. So if you find a machine that's a winner, by winning something. And the idea here is, in general, may not satisfy you, but the idea here is more than you spent. Now, some people have a goal of hand pays. They don't care how much they have to spend. They want a hand pay. So it's not about profit, it's about hand pay. So I don't see quite what you're getting at here. You can win a hand pay if you're on a winning machine. Now, people talk about volatility, but it isn't really a concept that works for slot machines. If it's volatility, it's lots of small wins with high volatility, or you don't win. So that's not volatility. It's just one end of it. You don't stick around if you're losing. Okay. So it can be luck to win, but when I won $60 $1,000 wins, I didn't even count 750, 500, anything less. Cherries came up almost every time I pressed the button. And then I won 13 hand pays in 6 days. And I only went like 4 of those 6 days, and sometimes twice. And it was, what is that? Might have been 20 hours all told. The first one might have been luck. The 70th, the 250th jackpot, it's not luck anymore. It's happening. And like I said, I understood and I sort of believed it, that, it's not luck-based winning, so it's something else. And what might that be? And then they proved it to me by shutting it off. Slot machine was still available. I walked up to it. I put $500 in, as I had for the previous 6 days, and it was gone in 5 minutes. No wins, not even a cherry. And that was, for me, like, if I didn't believe it before, I believe it now because it's proof. I hope that helped. Shanton, getting really close. I want to make sure that someone who's a member, anybody who's a member of my group, is getting an answer to their question. Anybody who's a member of YouTube's membership or in my group. So I'm getting more questions, and I can do that. Let's see. Thank you, Paula. Again, we get a lot of people trying to reach you. You are a valuable resource, and people try to find ways into the live stream because I've cut off every other avenue of access. Art and Tina White say, what's a good plan when you walk into Belterra, Cincinnati, Ohio? Belterra Park. The first step is to choose a casino. Second step is to choose a slot machine and have a plan. We didn't talk about the first step except in passing. The first step is not to go to Belterra Park. If you look, I know maybe you have to or whatever, but if you look at the state returns, out of the 4 casino resorts and the 7 racetracks, they're at the bottom, with a big gap between the second lowest on the return statistics. So I'll have more on that, but you just don't go to terrible casinos. I mean, you can still win. I won there. That's where I won the car, but they've been bought by Boyd Gaming, and Boyd Gaming had to pay for that purchase, and so they lowered the odds, and they just never stopped. So I will have more for you on the return statistics, where you can actually see where they got bought and watch how afterwards the return statistics were, player win percent just tanked. And it's a business decision for them. So that's, frankly, that's what I would do, not go. If you have to go, send me an email. We'll talk about it. Right. So, another question. Yes. Yeah. There's questions about winning better, winning more. One of the things that's part of the course, and something I want to expand on to help people, because people ask me, how do I win? And I say, I understand. That's what you want. And we will talk about what you want. But there's a problem that comes after you win, which you haven't done before. So you don't know about it, or you don't know much about it because you haven't won much. The second part of that is what you need. Showing you how to win is easy. Getting you to walk out of the casino with money, with those winnings, any of it, is hard. I've challenged my 18,000 member Professor Slots enthusiast group. I've challenged them. I don't want to show it because it's all private, and I'm not sharing it publicly. But I can say, I challenge you to leave the casino with money. I'm not putting qualifiers on it, a certain amount, 50% of your winnings, whatever. Leave with winnings, any. And they can't. And they can't. It's a skill. And if you haven't had wins, you're not practiced at it. And that's the sort of thing that needs attention. It's not what you want, it's what you need. And that's a big area, but I have to sort of convince you to realize the difference. Hey, thank you for the Seaweave02. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you. Okay, right. It's past an hour, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for your time. So, this has been a good live stream. If you have questions, you can email me at john@professorslots.com. What I want to tell you about is there's going to be right here, not right now, but in the recording, there's going to be 2 videos that about my strategies, which would help you the most. This is going to be my strategy 8 and my strategy 9. I'm trying to get away from the numbers. The first one is the casino environment. You listened as people were discussing in the live chat. You listened to what's going on, and that it helps you. If people are winning in the casino, if the people are not winning in the casino, why would you expect to? And the other one is about location, about placement of the slot machines by the casino, and that's some meaningful things that they do. So, click these videos right here, and I'll see you in the next one.